Democratic Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe is with us now from Richmond for his first national television interview since last weekend's events in Charlottesville. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Charlie. It's good to be with you.
Should all Confederate memorials and monuments be taken down?
I think so. I issued a statement to that effect yesterday. This is my first interview after what happened on Saturday here in Charlottesville. I thought it important that I speak to the citizens of the Commonwealth. So I've spent the last 5 days traveling all over Virginia, talking about healing, reconciliation, how we move forward together. But I did issue a statement last night, and that's why one reason I wanted to talk to you, Charlie, is they need to come down. They're divisive symbols. Several years ago, I used executive authority to take the Confederate flag off of our license plates here in Virginia. I don't have the authority to do that with monuments. Local control, local jurisdictions, as well as the General Assembly would control them. But I did say yesterday, as my Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam did, it's time for these monuments to come down. It's time for us to move together after what happened in Charlottesville. But let me just say this, Charlie, it's not just about monuments. This was a big issue that happened in this country on Saturday. These people who came to Charlottesville, the neo-Nazis, the alt-right, they weren't here about a statue. They went to the University of Virginia on Friday night with their torches. That had nothing to do with the statue. There is hatred, there is bigotry that has been unleashed in this country, and we need to understand how it's happened, most importantly, what we can do going forward as a nation.
And does the president's response to this suggest that he's unfit to be president?
Well, I can say this. I disagree strongly with the president in his remarks that this was all about the Lee statue. As I just mentioned, it wasn't. I have lost 3 great citizens. Yesterday, Heather Heyer's funeral. Tomorrow, we will have to put to rest Trooper Burke Bates, who had been part of my executive protection detail. And then on Saturday, Lieutenant Jay Cullen, who'd been my pilot. This breaks your heart. You have DeAndre Harris, who was viciously beaten by 4 or 5 individuals. As I said on Saturday, let me be clear. This is hatred. We got to address it. These were not patriots. These were cowards. Over my shoulder is Barbara Johns, who at 16 years old led the revolt at Prince Edward County, Virginia, when we had white schools and black schools. And she said our schools are inferior, and she led a revolt of 400 students in the 50s. That is what we need as leader. Those are patriots, the men and women in uniform. And the president, and I've talked to the president, let us use this time to bring people together. We are a United States of America, and the hatred that I saw on Saturday, I'm telling you, Charlie, I've never seen the language and the things were said about individuals, members of the African-American community, members with Jewish faith, members of the LGBT community. There's no place for it in Virginia. I told them to go home, but let's be honest. There's no place in America for this type of hatred. So I've established a reconciliation committee. We're moving forward. And to see those people at University of Virginia on the lawn yesterday, that is who Virginia is.
Governor, did you say that you spoke with President Trump, and what did you tell him?
Well, when I talked to him, you know, he called me right before he gave his press conference. I said, Mr. President, and I've been seeing the video all day. It's hatred. It's bigotry. It's racism. It needs to stop in this country. And I said, listen, let us work together for reconciliation. Let us go forward to bring our nation back together again. And, you know, he agreed with me on the phone call, but you know, I don't understand the statements he made.
But then, Governor, after that phone call, he had that remarkable news conference, and when it was over, you issued a statement saying we need real leadership in this country. My state and this country is still reeling from all the hatred. What does real leadership look like to you in this case, and do you still want him to come to Charlottesville?
That was not leadership, what I saw, and as I went out and did it myself, represented not only Virginia, but I thought where America was. Those remarks are dividing people. We cannot be dividing people. People came and protested the other day here in Charlottesville. One group came. They came heavily armed. You saw the pictures of individuals walking around with semi-automatic rifles through our streets. We knew the FBI and the DHS has helped us with intelligence. We knew these folks were coming armed, and they wanted to harm people. On the other side were the folks who were protesting hatred and bias and bigotry. They are 2 separate entirely groups. One was for uniting our country. The other side was to harm people.
Do you want the president to come to Charlottesville? Do you want him to come? You had asked him to come over the weekend. Do you still feel that way?
Listen, if the president wants to come to Charlottesville and address our citizens, talk about how we can heal as a nation and how we need to move forward, that is what the president of the United States should do. I do not want the president to come here to continue on with the speeches that he's given the last couple of days. Those speeches are dividing us. People now feel comfortable, Norah, that they can come into a city. You know, they used to wear hoods. Now they don't even wear hoods and spew their hatred and bigotry and bias. There is no place for that in this country. And anyone who incites that or encourages and allows this type of behavior, let me be clear, you have no place here in Virginia. We do not want you. And I'll be honest with you, we don't want you here in America. This hate speech has got to end. Let us continue to work together. Let's build a great United States of America. That's who we are.
Governor McAuliffe, thank you for joining us for your first interview. We appreciate it.
Thank you.